Hi everybody, I hope that you're having a great afternoon. This is Mr. Walter coming to you live from here our offices, and I'm glad that I can get a chance to see you. We're just chiming in already here in the chat. So thank you, Mr. Adam, for watching. Thank you for all the rest of the group. What a great afternoon we have here on this Friday afternoon. So thank you so much. I hope that everything's coming out okay for you guys and just getting ready for the weekend. So I thought that it was going to be a great show today. We have a very interesting kind of a look around the world today, Mr. Walter. We are going to sky-high Ferris wheels. So kind of brace yourself because we're going to be soaring a tour of Ferris wheels and giant observation wheels that will go around the world. So as you know, these are incredible feats of engineering. And so we're going to actually take a quick look at some of the biggest ones that we have around the world, and also the ones that are in construction. So I really think that it's going to be a lot of fun, and we'll get a chance to see a few other areas that are really interesting that will match. So the chat is open, and I'll be able to just kind of give you a little bit of feedback as much as I can. These are incredible structures, so let's start kind of moving along and seeing what we can see. So let's start exploring. So the first one that we're gonna go is a beautiful, incredibly big, and it's one of the biggest structures that we have is in Las Vegas. So the structure is 28 high-tech glass enclosed cabins. So these are cabins that you can actually see. Let's kind of take a look. So look at that. They're actually 28 high-tech cabins that actually do and rotate, and they take a kind of full look at the city, as well as hold up to 40 people. So an incredible place right here in Las Vegas. So if we kind of pan out, you can see the size of one of the biggest and the world's largest Ferris wheels so far in Las Vegas, Nevada. So what's really interesting about it is just that it might be, and you might consider that it's a little bit simple, being not only having a wheel and a structure, and you can see all the suspension wires that actually keep the full structure together, but it's actually very, very complex. It's an ongoing feat of engineering, not only to actually have it balanced, also have it wind resistant, make sure that it's leveled within the pivots, and also that the pivots can hold the weight of the full ring, as well as, as you can imagine, 28 high-tech glass enclosed cabins. So if we just take a quick look, and let me just do the math real quick. So that's 28 cabins times 40 people. So the wheel is holding 1,000 people, right? 1,000 kind of spectators, and 1,000 Ferris wheel going just holds it. So imagine that incredible amount of weight, and you can actually see the size. This is a great picture because we actually take a quick look of a car right here, and you can see the cabin. So imagine each one of those bubbles holding 40 people. And from then on, you can see actually the size and how far away it is from where we are. So I've actually tried to queue up a little video, see if you guys can get a chance to hear it, and see if we'll take a look of what it took to build this great structure. And from then on, we'll go into our activity, and then we'll fly around the world, looking at some of those those highest and largest Ferris wheels, which are just a great attraction, but they're all over the world. So we're going to mix up a little bit of geography with looking at some of these great structures. So this one, the world's largest Ferris wheel in here in Nevada, in Las Vegas, is measuring 168 meters tall. So it's an incredible thing. So let's take a quick look, and I'll see if I can get this going enough so we can take a quick look at the full.
It was a great challenge for us. I've worked on a lot of big projects, from the Olympics to whole theme parks, but to get to build the biggest observation wheel in the world. There is no instruction book on how to build a wheel like this. You really have to begin from scratch.
Caesar's executives had the idea. At the time, there was an alleyway that separated the Flamingo Hotel from what at the time was the Imperial Palace. They could have built the world's tallest roller coaster, the world's fastest roller coaster, but they were looking for an attraction that was all-encompassing.
When you're building a project like this that's so unique and one of a kind, you never really know how it's going to be received or what the steps are to get it built. When we took this project to the Vegas Building Department, they didn't know how to classify it. So believe it or not, this is actually a transportation device. We looked at a lot of the other wheels. The London Eye, of course, everybody's familiar with, right on the Thames. The Singapore Flyer was the biggest wheel in the world. And it's interesting because to look at these devices, it's a wheel. It's a pretty simple form. Build a big wheel and you put a pivot in it and you spin it around. But they're actually quite complex to build. So we put together an all-star team, and together we came up with a unique structural design to be the biggest wheel in the world. We're 550 feet tall. It's really an amazing piece of architectural engineering and structural engineering. The really breakthrough moment was when we figured out the size of the bearing ring these cabins.
The bearing ring, incredible.
Cabins hold 40 people, so they're not small, and they have to be able to rotate smoothly as they make the trip around the circle so that they stay level. It's the biggest bearing ring that's manufactured anywhere on the planet. The wheel is moving about 1 foot per second, which is fast enough to get us around in 30 minutes. The safety issues are pretty significant. If you're at the top of the wheel and something goes wrong, how do you get down again? We did lots of computer simulations. We knew exactly what the view would look like in all directions, but to actually get to ride it and see what it was like is a pretty staggering feeling. And that's exactly what we live for, is the people that design this kind of thing.
It has become an icon of the city of Las Vegas. We obviously wanted to be the biggest and the best. We would have gone higher, but because of our close proximity to the airport, the FAA restricted how high we could go, and we took it right to the limit.
Everybody knows the neon alley that the Strip is, but this beautiful ring that sits above it has really become a landmark. There's just something innately. We want to go to the top of the mountain. We want to climb to the top of the building. Just get that vista. And I think it's because it helps us make sense of each other. And we always want to see what's next.
I definitely believe we will sustain our record of being the tallest wheel in North America. There's a couple of wheels that are proposed that are bigger. Dubai is under construction and is much higher than ours, but there are always challenges. I think if they didn't push it, we win the advance, whether that's in space or automobiles. It's wanting to be the best. This wheel did it, and I think that will continue to happen.
Incredible. It's just one, as you can see, just a full view of the largest wheel that we have here in the United States. Las Vegas, Nevada is the high roller, which is an incredible piece of engineering. So let me think, have you guys been? Do you guys like some of these great, incredible wheels? Have you been in one of them? I have, and I think that these are just amazing. How these great elements, and we can actually see them. Thank you to Google Earth. So as we come back through, we'll get a chance to take a full look. So let's kind of move out from the world and see where we are. We are actually right there in Las Vegas, Nevada. Right here, we're looking at the high roller, which is one of the biggest Ferris wheels in the world. Then we're going to kind of move along, and we're going to go to California. Then we're going to head out to the northern part of the United States. I think that maybe that's right at the border of Canada and the United States. So we'll go to the Niagara Falls, and then we'll cross right over. We'll go to England. Then I think there's a few others there. We're right back in Asia, so we'll go to. I think we're going to go to China, and then we'll go to Malaysia, and then we'll head all the way over to Australia. So an incredible kind of ride of having all these places moving back and forth as we take a quick look at huge Ferris wheels around the world. So let's go to the next stop, and the next stop is. Where we going? We're going to Melbourne and to the Melbourne Star, the observation wheel, which is in Docksland in Australia. So it's a 30-minute ride. So imagine that, just getting in and then just having a 30-minute ride as we can move across. So we'll be heading right down there to the Melbourne Star observation wheel. Yesterday we were very close. We're right at the bay looking at some great white sharks. And now we're just gonna fly all the way down, and we'll see the massive Ferris wheel that is actually sitting here in Docksland in Australia. So imagine, even if you can see, look, the size of it. You can actually take a quick look, and we're just gonna move right into the edge of it. And see if you can see some of the trees. Okay, so yeah, there's someone right there in that little corner, and there's a full building that is done, and then the full wheel that just kind of comes across the full area here in Australia. So let's take a look. Look at the size of that huge, Ferris wheel. It does have a star right in the middle, which is a little bit different in terms of what we're used to in the modern Ferris wheels, that it has a full star that's supporting the structure. So that's one of the really interesting things that I wanted to show you today, is how not only that the outer exterior ring is a feat of engineering, not only the capsules as well, but the interior structure. Different from the one that we just saw in the high roller, but you can actually look and see some of these great places. So let me see if I can turn the world around. There we go. As we turn and see it from the other side. It's just an incredible area of how right at the bay here in Docksland, Australia. And we're actually taking a quick look at one of the biggest Ferris wheels that we have, which is called the Melbourne Star. It's an observation wheel that kind of just covers and sees the overall surrounding area. So a beautiful, great place here in Australia. So let's kind of pan out and actually look again where we are in the world. We are right at the edge of the water in looking at the Ferris wheel in Melbourne, Australia, which is right here at the edge. And here's Australia, the full, and then you see. So let me just kind of again taking a quick look out of the world. So as we kind of move the world over, we see that Hawaii is very right here. Then we have California. Then we have right there, we have Las Vegas. Here we are right in the middle here in Texas. And then we'll go right at the edge between the United States and Canada, which is right up here. We'll see the Niagara Sky Wheel, which is the another one of those incredible Ferris wheels that we see. Then here's England, and we actually took a great tour of England as we kind of moved along, looking at the places from Harry Potter. And we were going to see the London Eye, which is another great Ferris wheel, which is right there. So here's Europe. We have right here, there's Italy, then we have Greece, then we have Spain and France right there. Then we have Austria and the Netherlands as well as we have the rest of the European group. We have here Russia, and then we have the United Emirates, as well as we have Africa. Egypt is right up here. South Africa is right down here. This little island that we have right here is Madagascar, so we should definitely go. And since the movie is so much fun, then as we kind of cross the world, we see India, we have China, then we have Japan, the Philippines, Thailand, and North and South Korea, as we see all those areas. So, just incredible places around the world. And we're going to keep on going around the world as we move forward to our next Ferris wheel. So, our next Ferris wheel is the London Eye, which is in England. So this is in London, in the United Kingdom, and we will kind of take a quick look. So the London Eye is just another great piece of architecture. As you see the same infrastructure. Now, what's really interesting about the London Eye is that it has only a two-pronged structure. So as you can see, not only does it have the full wheel, and it has, just kind of like a bicycle wheel. It has all the interesting supports and the bubbles as they go back and forth. But you see that it's only two kind of support beams, as the kind of middle area is supported by suspension, because it's right on the River Thames as well. So an incredible feat of engineering, having not only the full wheel, but also only suspended by two structures on Rhineland side. So let's kind of fly down there. And the London Eye is Europe's tallest wheel and observation deck, featuring 32 pods that go along. So let's kind of fly down and just take a quick look at another great place, which is here in London. And there it is. Here is a picture taken right out of the window in the observation deck on one of the pods, as you can see. And as we turn the edge, let me turn the other way, and you can see, the interior of the full pod. And from then you can actually take a quick look at the river, as well as some of the great places here in England. So as kind of we move out bit by bit, we can see the full at its height, the full area that we have. So an incredible place here we have in London, here in the United Kingdom, which we're looking at the London Eye. And let's see where exactly the London Eye is. So let me kind of just move and see if we can take a quick side view of the London Eye. So you can see it right down there. And from here, let's see if we see some of the landmarks. Well, this is the River Thames as it just crosses over. And you can see, imagine that, being able on the top area here in London, and then just taking pictures of all these great places. So where is London anyway? So this is London right here, and this is the full island of the United Kingdom, and this is where we are today, looking at some of the great Ferris wheels, sky-high Ferris wheels. So we have gone to the biggest one so far, which is in Nevada. So it's in Las Vegas, which is called the High Roller. Then we have gone and we saw another one of the Ferris wheels that we're looking through. So now we're at London, the London's Eye, which is in the United Kingdom, which is another one of the great structures. So kind of let's move out a little bit, and then just kind of join in the chat. And I know that Nicole has joined. Thank you, Nikki, for joining in and saying hi. A great place that we're looking at, and we're looking to move right through our world and see different places. So let's kind of just move along to the next location. So we're going to go all the way to Singapore. So we are currently right here as we turn the world around here in Europe, and then now we are going to Singapore, which is right there, which is the Singapore Flyer. It's 165 meters tall, and the wheel is one of the largest in the world. And it also it offers a butler service in the rides, which means that you can actually have some drinks and just have a lot of fun as you actually take the full ride all the way up. So let's fly into Singapore. So Singapore is right down there, and we're just gonna fly right in to actually see the Singapore Flyer. As we just gonna move and just look right over this huge structure as well. So again, a very classic style. You see that it's even a little bit leaner. It does have the capsules, maybe not as modern, but it does have that full like bicycle looking wheel, and you have the full area, and you can see in here that you have not only the building, but the size of it, right? So if you can see that there's a bus, you can see how tall that full Ferris wheel is here in Singapore. So as we're gonna pan out a little bit, you'll get a chance to actually see right at the skyline and standing one of the biggest Ferris wheels overlooking the city. The city's way back there, so you get a chance to actually see the full skyline. A beautiful and great area in full open places, which brings me to our activity today. So our activity today is that we're going to actually try to make a Ferris wheel. Again, the only materials that we typically use are cardboard, and I have all sorts of kind of cuts and leftover cardboard. We typically use marker, and we use our trusty tape. I use blue tape because it's a lot easier just to take in and take out. And then I also are trusty scissors. So we're gonna try to make something like the picture that we have. So I guess the most interesting part about it is that taking a quick look at that small little area, which is the actual pin that makes the wheel go round. So for this pin, we can use either one or two things. You can find some toothpicks, or I use either a shish kebab, and you can see right here, or as well as a straw, because we're going to use it as the pin right in the middle, and that makes it rotate. So the project is pretty simple. We take a piece of cardboard, and again, just any cardboard will do. And the first thing we're going to do is just going to make all the two wheels. So what we do is we make two of them and we cut them out. So then we have two parallel wheels, and then we can actually be able to build. So if you see some of the pictures that I've been showing you, the actual wheels, there's two of them, right? So in order to actually have the exterior structure, you have one ring and then another ring, and it's all kind of bound together by those middle ones. So in this case, is the same thing. We have one wheel and then we have another one, but it's bound together by the center. So I'll make an easier one because you can actually cut out and then decorate it and paint it. So the first thing that we do is that we are going to get and just make two, and just take a pen and then draw around the first circle. You just make a circle using, you can use this with a small plate as well, so you can see how that is done. And then pretty easy, just one, and then use another one. And as we kind of look and do, so we do two complete circles, pretty easy. And then we're just going to have to cut them up. So we will cut up one and the second one. So let me just cut out, and I'll show you how that happens as we start cutting those two circles. And eventually what we're going to do is that we're actually going to have two circles and two round wheels out of cardboard. Once we have those two round wheels done, then we can start making and building the first section. So let me just show you the wheel that I did. So here it is, just a regular wheel, and I used the same marker or the same pen to just punch a hole right through it. That way, we'll be able to start getting our the centerpiece. And the centerpiece is really, what I use today is just a little piece of a straw. So a little piece of straw, we just in the middle, and then we're going to put the other one here, and you'll see that we'll be able to build the full Ferris wheel from one side or the other. Now, one of the things which is really interesting is that inside there's two ways to do it. You can start start cutting up little bits of the pieces and then glue them around and then place the other kind of Ferris wheel on the other side, which is the way in which the pods are tied together. But what I've done is actually build an inside area. So as you can see, I have the exterior wheel, then I have the straw that goes along, and then I place a smaller wheel inside of the structure. And the reason why I did that is that way when I place the second one, and you'll see it right here, once I place the second wheel, then the second wheel is going to be able to be apart from the first one. So as we place them together, now you have a full Ferris wheel, and then that we can actually decorate. So once you have those two sides and the centerpiece, it looks like a big cookie, just like with the interior side. Then we're just going to be able to put some tape around it and just make sure that both edges of the Ferris wheel are tight, that way, and also leveled. And once you have it both tight and leveled, then you'll be able to have it ready to sit on top of a structure. So here it is, a great picture of how it should look. So you have one side, you have the other side, you have the interior structure, and then you have the interior, the piece of straw that kind of just goes from one side to the other. So I think that looks pretty level as you see from both sides. Now what I can do is actually make the cradle, and the cradle, as you can see in the picture, is pretty easy. Really, the only thing is just a piece of cardboard, and then it's folded, and once it's folded, you kind of just cut alongside the edges so it makes that smooth triangle. So I have done that already, and I'll be able to show it to you very quickly. So I've taken just a piece of cardboard, I fold it, and then I have cut it just like making a pyramid, just like the same way that we made a pyramid a few episodes ago. And and this is actually something which is really interesting, in order to actually make sure that it holds, what I have done is that I have placed some tape at the bottom, and you can see I'll just place some tape here and tape. But just make sure that you leave enough room for the wheel to turn, and there it is. So I have placed one area and the other area of tape enough, so now you can actually see the cradle. The cradle has actually made two indentations, two cuts right there, so you'll be able to hold it. And now we're ready to actually put our wheel right on top. So once we put the wheel, we have our own ready-made Ferris wheel, which as we open up and make the section, you can definitely see how that turns, because it turns right on the edge of the wheel. So let me just get this ready. Let me put a little bit more tape on its side, and we have our Ferris wheel ready-made, just like the one that we have. So it's a lot of fun to actually be making these activities and these crafts. So it's a lot of fun to be able to just kind of do them, and as you can see, I'll just add it to my collection right in the back. And remembering that we did an episode of having not only the tallest buildings, but also having all sorts of different other projects. So I already have a pretty good collection of things that I've done. So let me see, we have done a Ferris wheel, which is the one that we did today. There it is. We have done a few pyramids as well. We have done rockets. There we go. So we have done rockets, all three. We have done some buildings. We have actually gone and done some tigers. We have gone and done some, older buildings, just like the Colosseum. See if I can place it right at the edge. And let me put the rocket right at the edge as well. There we go. So we have done all sorts of kind of activities as we have traveled around the world, and always one of the things that we keep is our trusty wizard. So if you're following Mr. Adams' adventures or into the Dungeonverse, then you have it. Here we go. We have all sorts of activities that we have done over the last few weeks. I hope that you've been actually following them. If not, check out my channel and you'll be able to actually see some of the things that we have done. And let me put this right back as a full kind of diorama of all the things that we've done. And we're now going to be going right back and seeing some of the great places that we still have to go. So we are taking a quick look at Ferris wheels around the world and some of the largest ones that we've seen. So we have seen the Ferris wheels in the biggest one, the High Roller, which is in Las Vegas. We have actually seen the Eye, which is the London Eye, which is in England. We're now in Singapore, and we're actually taking a quick look at the Singapore Flyer as we see how incredibly big these great places and so forth are. So let's kind of move along and see where we are headed now. We are going to the Pacific Park Wheel in Santa Monica, California. So I've actually been in this wheel. We've been actually been right in front of it. So it's a beautiful place. So we kind of will fly from, we are now in Singapore, and let me turn the world around. So let's actually take a look. So we are right here in Singapore, and we're going to fly across the world in just a second. And we're going to go all the way to Santa Monica, California, to actually look at the Pacific Wheel. So here's a picture from the pier, in the Santa Monica Pier. You see the beach right there, and you see another one. This is a much more classical looking wheel, which you can see that the there's no pods. It's just open areas. It holds just about 4 or 5 people, but it's really interesting because it's a lot more colorful, but it's still on that same design. So let's kind of fly out there and just take a quick look at that wheel that we're actually looking. Another feat of engineering, as any of these. These are not easy to build, and you can see right away. So this is the classic one. It's all overlooking the Pacific Ocean, and it's one of the first to be solar powered. So each one of these wheels has something unique about them, right? So we know that some of them are just the biggest ones. Other ones have only 2 structures. The other ones have different pods that rotate. The one that we have and we see here in the Santa Monica, California, is the first one that is solar powered. And we know that they keep moving kind of ongoing year round. And the reason why they do that is just that they move very slow. So they move like 1 foot every minute or so. So that way it takes almost half an hour to actually go through, or actually go all the way to the top and then right back down. But you can definitely see that the structures are completely different. You know, there's just this little umbrella-like, and you can move in and sit there, but this is an open air. But what's really interesting is now that using renewable energy, they're able to actually power it and just be solar powered. So a very interesting and beautiful. So let's see if we can walk down this down a little bit and see if we can see the wheel. There we go, and there it is. Just a great picture right from the bottom. So as the wheel starts moving, and then you come climb on, and it goes all the way up. So it's still very interesting and very difficult to make, but you know, completely solar powered. So as we take a look right here from right over the Pacific Ocean, and we are actually taking a quick look at Santa Monica and Santa Monica Pier. So this is Santa Monica here in California, and here's the pier that we actually take a quick look. So we have the full beach, the full pier, and then right at the edge, we can actually see all the amusement park, and at the edge we see the actual Ferris wheel, which is right here, as we can see. You know, an incredible place, and also very, very interesting. All right, so we have gone to several places. We're now standing, kind of flying above California, taking a look at that wheel. And now we're just going to move again to our next spot. And our next spot is we're going to move right from California to see where we are. So we are the other side, right at the Pacific Ocean. And let's kind of take a look so we can see United States completely. There it is. We see the United States right there. There's California, and then now we're going to fly again all the way across the Pacific Ocean, all the way across. There's Australia, but we're going to go all the way to China, and we're going to take a look at the star of Nanchang, which is another one, 160 meters tall, giant Ferris wheel. It started in 2008, and it's lit by thousands of lights. So not only this one is really interesting because it has all those lights right across the structure, and it makes all sorts of patterns. So let's fly and take a look at that Ferris wheel right here in China. And we can now take a quick look, and we'll get a chance to see it right here, right at the edge. So, you know, an incredible, real tall, 160 meter tall giant Ferris wheel. But this is how it looks, you know, when it's out in the open during the day. I'm going to see if I can get a picture, and there it is. So there's how it looks, you know, when it's fully lit. So this one is being used, you know, another technology. It uses LED lighting. So all the structure is full of LEDs. So it makes all these great patterns as the night comes along, and just kind of shows you everything that we can do with all these great, amazing structures. And the reason why I like them so much is because each one of them is a feat of engineering. It's very difficult to keep up, maintain, and actually build, because the precision to actually have a wheel to keep on moving and just being on those two supports or four support structures, it is absolutely amazing. So as we take a quick look, and we're here in China, let's just take a quick look. There is the skyline in China, as well as some of the bridges. And as we kind of move out and take a look. So we only have one more as we move back away, and we actually see where we are. We are here in China, mainland. There we go, mainland China. And now the next one is we're going to go to the Niagara Falls, right at the edge of the United States and Canada. So the Niagara Sky Wheel in Niagara Falls, another great place. So let's kind of fly out there, and it gives, you know, a full view of the gigantic attraction, which is the Niagara Falls. So as you can see from this image, a bird's eye view initially, you see the Niagara Falls, which is way back there. You can see the Niagara Falls, as well as you can see some of the other attractions right at the edge. And we're going to fly in and take a quick look of the Ferris wheel, the Niagara Sky Wheel, that's right at the edge of Niagara Falls. So this one's also interesting because it has, you know, not only two of the greatest natural attractions that we could see, but also again it just has to maintain that ongoing work as every day to just keep the full area. And you can see, I think there's a miniature golf right there, right at the edge also of the Niagara Falls. So let's see if we can take a quick picture. So someone took a picture right here, so you see all the pods, as well as, you know, right at the edge, the falls of the Niagara Falls. I think those are the American falls. Those are the ones that are on the American side, and the other ones are actually the ones that are in Canada. So another great, beautiful spot and a beautiful place, as we're gonna move out and take a quick look at the full attractions. And you can see the Niagara Falls right there as we take a quick look and fly over this great natural wonder, and we take a look at some of the giant Ferris wheels as well. Situated in a very scenic area, the Sky Wheel provides just incredible views. So we have gone to 7 places around the world looking at giant Ferris wheels. So even though we are taking just a quick look at some of these marvels of engineering, we've been able to actually kind of travel the world. So we're now in Canada. We have gone to 2 of the 2 wheels, 2 Ferris wheels in the United States. We've gone to Las Vegas, Nevada. We went to Santa Monica Pier in California. We flew all the way to China. We went to Australia. So we kind of traveled the world looking at some of these great structures. And I hope that you're having as much fun as I am, just kind of looking around and just amazed at how around the world some of these great, beautiful structures are done. So one of the things that I wanted and definitely wanted to do is just take a little bit of time and let you know the Masters of the Dungeonverse, the program that we have here in New Lines in Richmond with Mr. Adam. We are going online. So we're going to be starting the Star Wars role-playing game. We're going to be playing games on Tuesdays. We're going to play on Thursdays and Saturdays coming up next week. We're going to have sessions for kids from 8 to 11 and just a little older kids from 12 to 16. So we're going to be we're doing 2 sessions a day. We're going to be running the Star Wars role-playing game, which is just an incredible, great game. We teach the game online. It's going to be obviously live, like we do everything, a real inspired live interaction. And this program is that we're going to be actually bringing some of the great characters to the edge of the empire, you know, kind of banding together with a group of survivors so you can actually play those characters. And role-playing games are a lot of fun. You get a chance to be in character, and I'll be running some games as well as Mr. Adam. So if you're actually following some of the games already that Mr. Adam has before in Masters of the Dungeonverse, check out some of those great experiences, as well as some of those great adventures that we have in store for you. So next week and moving forward, we'll be actually doing some live gaming, not only Tuesdays, but Thursdays and Saturdays as well. Something that I do regularly, but you know, I hope that you can actually come in and sign up and just kind of enjoy having some games during the week. And what a better way to spend some time at home than just taking a great break during the afternoon and just jumping in a game with some friends and enjoying some of these great adventures in the Star Wars universe. So that is it for me. They only have a few more minutes left. So at 3 o'clock, make sure that you check out what we have for New Minds TV. So this was Around the World with Mr. Walter, just interactive, exploring the world, making sure that we take a few look around for geography, language, and music. At 3 o'clock, just in a few more minutes, Mr. Dorian is coming in with the steam train, just live steam learning and games. So that's a lot of fun as well. At 4 o'clock, we have from the New Me Vault, That's for students K through 5th grade. That's Mr. Ben, who's using classic puzzles and brain twisters and all these great elements that we have from the New Minds Enrichment. And at 5 o'clock, we have Mr. Justin, who's going to closing messages as well as announcements for parents on what do we have in store, why are we moving forward, what kind of activities the kids can join in, and you can also join in and watching some of these great programs that we have in New Minds TV. So I am Mr. Walter. Thank you for tuning in for real inspired learning for all. And remember to always pursue your passion. My passion is gaming. So Masters of the Dungeonverse, Star Wars role-playing game is coming up, and we're going to be doing some games next week. So always pursue your passion until it becomes your talent. So this is Mr. Walter from around the world, and today we went all around the world looking at some of the great places which were just moving and seeing sky-high Ferris wheels from all around the world. So as I leave you with currently the highest and the world's largest Ferris wheel, we'll just take a quick look, and that is in Nevada. It's in Las Vegas, Nevada, which is called the High Roller. So an incredible, great place. 28 high-tech glass enclosed cabins holding up to 40 people. So it's just amazing, and an amazing feat of engineering that we have here in the United States, and literally in our backyard from Texas. So I hope you're having a great rest of the afternoon. Enjoy yourself. Make sure you tune in for Mr. Dorian with the steam train, and thank you again for watching to everybody. So have a great rest of the day and enjoy yourself.